Hello and welcome back to another episode of WTF is AuDHD with late diagnosed sisters Ellie and Paige. We were diagnosed late.
And we're here to educate.
Yes, and on today's podcast, we're going to be talking more about friendships and our experience with friendships, unmasking to friends, holiday season, what that's like in terms of, you know, being around family members and stuff like that. And if there's more to this topic you want to hear about, obviously let us know in our Reddit later on. But we're just going to basically talk about friendships and how we're going now with connecting with other people, especially like pre and post diagnosis. But before we get ahead, you've got a brand new friend Paige, and he is sitting in the room with us.
I've got a new friend. I don't want to like disturb him, but I want the cameras to see him. So like he's sitting here so nicely.
He is.
He's so well behaved. Cash. Hi, come here. Good boy.
Don't you whack those cameras, mate, with your big tail.
I don't know if you're watching, you'll be able to see the big giant. Okay.
Yeah, so Paige got a dog. This is not a man. This is a dog. Wouldn't really.
Way better than a man.
Yeah. Paige's got a dog for the first time in her life, and she's wanted a dog since she could talk. We never had one as kids because they are a lot of work, as we're learning, aren't we, Paige?
Yeah.
And yeah, we just didn't have them as kids, but we had cats, and we've always loved cats. We've both still got our 4 cats between us. But Paige has rescued this doggy who was given up by his family, and he's such a nice boy. He's 3 years old.
Yeah. He's lovely. His name's okay. He's trying to lick while I'm talking to the microphone.
Aww.
He does this where he nestles his head into my neck. It's really cute. Anyway, he's 3 years old. His name's Cashew, but I've shortened it to Cash. I think it's way cooler.
Yeah.
No offense.
Oh, stay off.
Not on the laptop. That's my laptop. Okay.
All right, back down.
I love you too. Okay. On your bed.
So we've got Ruby the Schnauzer, who's sitting very quietly next to me here, and then we've got Cash, who we don't know his full breed, but yeah, who knows?
I think, well, it says Staffy Cross, and I do think he's got Staffy in him, but I also think he's got a bit of Ridgeback in him, actually.
Yeah, so that's been a life-changing experience in the last week, hasn't it, Paige? How's it going being a dog mum?
Like, I have always so desperately wanted a dog.
Like, when I say when she says desperately, it's like desperately.
Desperately. And even so much so that I created a whole slide deck presentation to present to mum and dad of like the dog I wanted, how I'd look after them, how it would work, like did this entire thing. Anyway, I talked to my therapist about this, and we were kind of like talking about my autism. She was like, yeah, it's very autistic. Like, I mean, those weren't her exact words, but
yeah,
it's just like the obsession over an interest. Anyway, so I am loving it, but I do think that it's like 31 years of waiting, and then now it's here. It's like real weird.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how to explain
It's like you've got it, but and it's awesome. And on the other hand, it's all the other stuff you don't know about.
Yeah.
That you're having to learn and like learn how to, control a wild animal, literally.
Yeah, like I always used to like, when mum and dad were like, there are a lot of work, Paige, but I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'll be fine. I don't think learning very quickly within 7 days that mum and dad, you weren't wrong.
Wow, can we get that on the record? Can you sign that here and we send that off to mum and dad?
It's out there live now forever. So, but it's good. It's done wonders for my mental health, I will say. Like,
yeah.
I've spoken a bit about this, but I think with hyperfixation on my work, because I do love my work, I will spend like 6 hours just like on something, or it's the opposite and I have trouble getting into it. But if it's something I'm really passionate about or something I need to get like done real quick, I really struggle with breaks and prioritizing like a 15-minute walk, because you think like, I simply don't have time for that. I don't have time to get off this and do that. But the ironic thing about it is that like now that I've been forced to take him for runs along the beach and like break out of that hyperfixation, I always come back feeling more fresh and more creative, despite feeling like I don't have any time.
Yeah.
So it's been really good because I'm getting lots of walks in.
And are you more productive now because you've actually got a responsibility to look after, versus before you'd just be sitting at your desk all day like having a coffee and then doing your work?
And I don't mean this because becoming a parent is like completely astronomically like harder, but it's like a little taster of like always being needed, always having this thing in your face, making noises, making smells. Like I'm like, oh, okay, this is a good little tester on like what it would be like to be needed all the time and like not getting a break almost, because yes, I think I've been more productive because if I have like an hour where he's like sleeping and I don't know, I'm just getting shit done.
You take advantage of that hour and you get as much work as you can do done, and then you have time to go to the beach. Whereas before you might have an hour of work that would take you 3 hours because you just take breaks and you go and hang the washing out or watch and
then I'd still be like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time. And now I'm like, okay, like I was busy, but like I was like procrastinating a lot.
Yeah.
And so now I feel a lot more productive, which is really good for my business and really good just for my mental health. And because a lot of anxiety and stress comes from procrastination.
Yes.
And I know we can't really help it sometimes. Like ADHDers in particular, we need external pressure.
Yeah. So now this is your external pressure.
So now this is my external pressure. And I always come back being like, oh, it's nice getting some sun.
Now I've got fresh ideas.
Yeah, oh, that's true. I was like taking him for a walk and got some really good creative ideas while I was walking. And then I was like, see, would I have got this if I was still like slaving away at my computer? Maybe not.
Nah.
So it's been really good. It's definitely got its challenges, but yeah, I don't regret it yet.
Yeah, and it's made you feel more content at home, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So for example, on the weekend, me and our friends, we went out on a boat and it was amazing. And Paige, you couldn't come because you've got a new baby you had to look after.
Yeah.
And on a normal day, if the whole group had gone out without you, you'd be feeling really lonely.
Oh, I probably would have cried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you would have come with us if that was the case. But let's just say for argument's sake, you couldn't come or you weren't invited or whatever. You'd be sitting here feeling really rejected, lonely, FOMO.
Yeah. There's definitely been times, many times that I haven't been invited to something where you kind of think that you would have been. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I would kind of sit at home being very confused and wondering why I wasn't invited. Mm-hmm. And obviously the RSD pops off. So, yeah, that's definitely happened numerous times. But having him definitely in those moments make me not feel so lonely.
Yeah.
Like I have my cats and I love them, but they're off.
Yeah, they do their own.
They're all doing their own
thing.
Which I also love cats for that reason. Like having him in my energy like 24/7, like love it. But on the flip side, I'm also like, like this morning I think I'm coming into like my like luteal phase. And I said to Ellie, oh, I'm a cat person this morning. Freaking cat person. Anyway, so he's been great, but there's definitely challenges as there is with everything, you know.
Yeah, but you feel like he's completed your life. You feel more whole and you feel happy being on your own because you're never actually on your own now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same with Ruby. I always hated being on my own. I didn't want to be talking to people, but I always wanted someone in the room. That's why I do my homework, around my mum, so I had company and it was body doubling too. But now with Ruby, I'm happy to sit at my computer for hours and just work because I know I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Paige and I actually think in hindsight, I'm not saying that we should have had dogs as kids because it would have completely changed the dynamic of our house and stuff. And we were away a lot for athletics and stuff like that. However, now I actually think that you and I are dog people and we actually kind of really thrive with a dog.
I honestly
personally.
think I agree. I think I needed it as like a support animal.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like I think socially I felt very lonely as a teenager. I felt very rejected, very weird. And so mum and dad tried to get me a cockatiel, bless, which I did love him.
Yeah, because you were going to a therapist in your teenage years. This is around when they were trying to work out if there was anything going on up there. And you did go to a therapist, or mum and dad did, and they suggested getting you a companion animal. And I think, they did. I'm pretty sure it was a suggestion from a doctor. Or maybe mum and dad researched it. I just remember them thinking or finding out that you would really benefit from a companion animal, but they couldn't have a dog because of the way our house was set up. So they went with the next best option in terms of like companionship, and they got you a cockatiel.
Yeah. Just talking about this is probably a good thing, getting vulnerable. But just like when you're saying that out loud, maybe people resonate with this, and I don't think that we're losers. But hearing you say that out loud, I'm just like gutted. That
Why?
like, well, what a loser.
No, you're not a loser.
I needed like, give her a pet because she can't make friends.
No, it wasn't even. I don't even think it was about not making friends. I think it was more for regulating you as well.
I got tears balls.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it was about regulating you, and probably giving you some companionship. Because the other thing we need to consider is that when you were a teenager, you were training like 6 days a week.
Yeah.
So you also, even if you could have gone out with friends, you actually couldn't have because you were too busy training at a high performance level. And so I think that's why having that cockatiel or a companion animal was another good reason.
Yeah.
So that you didn't feel lonely.
I just think back to my teenagers and I was, Sorry.
Okay.
I think back to my teenage years and I'm sad for her.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
I was very lonely.
Yeah.
It felt weird.
Yeah.
Oh my God, are we going to keep this in?
If you want to, you don't have to, but
it's probably nice because I think there's probably like parents out there that have kids that feel like this or felt like this. And I just feel like a bit of a fucking loser sometimes. And I know I'm not, but compared to the norm, which is the neurotypical rules and shit, you feel like ostracized.
Yeah.
And not even like that anyone ever does anything overt to make you feel, well, definitely had that. But like, I don't know, just like that, like not understanding why like people don't gravitate towards me or something.
Yeah.
That's on one of my notes actually to talk about that. Which was, I'll just say now that I'm kind of going, but I always felt like I had to like, it was deeply ingrained for some reason. I think maybe like a compilation of like instances of rejection. I talked to my therapist about this last week. And because we're talking about RSD, rejection sensitivity, apparently they've taken off the D, dysphoria anyway.
It's dysphoria, I think is the word.
Yeah. Or maybe I got that wrong. Anyway. And we're talking about like things of rejection and stuff. So I guess it was like that compilation of like rejection. So now it's like deeply ingrained that showing up as my authentic self was never enough.
Yeah.
And so that's why I would always show up in situations feeling like I had to be something to be palatable to these people. And I always wondered why I was never like, why no one really like gravitated towards me or like, I don't know, you see people that are really tight or like cool girls that everyone like gravitates towards. You're like, why aren't I like, why aren't people magnetized to me?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I felt like, I masked, I guess, and didn't know how to show up and felt like I had to show up in a certain way in order to be liked. But anyway, getting to the point. So I think I'm getting better at it where maybe it's just with age and learning to not give an F and also now knowing more about myself and being medicated. I have been showing up more as my authentic self in situations and I spent like a month in Paris with my best friend, which was amazing. And me and her talked about it and we feel like, I mean, we've been friends for years, but I said like, I feel like this trip, me and you have connected on a deeper level. She was like, yeah, me too. I feel like we're like even tighter. And I said that I feel like it's because I'm learning to just be myself. And now I've realized that mask or that feeling like I need to show up as a certain someone and to people was putting like this invisible barrier between me and them, where they weren't magnetizing towards me because I wasn't being my authentic self. And now I've learned after slowly unmasking around the right people, because obviously some people just don't like you and that's normal. I'm learning that not everyone can like you. And that's fine. But now I'm finally just learning like, wow, me and Brooke are deeper than ever in terms of our friendship. I have connected with other people since unmasking and I've slowly just realized that being my authentic self was always more than enough. But rejection just...
It's so insidious when you're feeling rejected every single day, especially when you're younger. It just builds that whole narrative in your head that you aren't lovable.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really hard to break that down.
It is.
And that's why when you get diagnosis, sometimes it's really horrible because everything comes crashing down. But then in the same breath, you can kind of go, oh, okay, I should just be myself. And even to your best friend, you've now finally fully unmasked in front of her.
Yeah, I feel like I'm more magnetic and people are more magnetized towards me. It's weird. I'm like, oh, right. So the issue it wasn't that no one didn't like me as my authentic self. It's because they felt this like weird, I guess, invisible mask.
Yeah. They probably felt your insecurity, to be honest. Insecurity and desperation, not saying you were desperate, but that kind of vibe, people feel that from a mile away.
Yeah, hard. And now I feel like I'm more, just anyways.
Now that you love yourself and you accept yourself more, honestly comes back to that again. Like as soon as you love yourself and you project love to you, you're going to project it outwards.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so hard when you've got all that horrible subliminal messaging happening in your whole life and noticing one rejection, and then that next rejection feels like a tenfold rejection. And
and then because after experiencing that so many times in the compilation of it all, you start to kind of like lose sense of reality in a sense. We talked about this with my therapist, is like you don't know what's real anymore because your brain has this narrative that it's established over the years. Your brain then finds reasons to believe that narrative, not consciously. It's like, they did that. That means that that proves my theory that no one likes me.
Yeah.
And so your brain does that.
And it becomes irrational.
It comes.
But you don't know
it
that.
does. Yeah, it becomes irrational. And we talked about that, where I don't know what's real anymore. It's quite sad actually. But learning now, just being myself, has been the answer all along.
Yeah, it has. But it's also been rough when, mum and dad did try their best to even just take you to therapists and stuff. This is a great, sad example of you just crying before and reminiscing on your lonely teenage self. If only a psychologist had picked up that in you.
I know.
And if you were a boy, I don't know, I can't say, but it feels as though you may have been treated properly and understood properly earlier. And so this is just exactly why we do this podcast, because we don't want other teenagers who might be listening, or if you're listening as a parent and you've got teenagers, we hope this helps you kind of understand them.
Yeah, exactly. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for being so vulnerable.
Nah, no worries. Didn't realise I was going to cry. I think it's just a bit of an emotional morning for me.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
I think, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and then we went down to the beach and had a bit of a debacle, didn't we, Ellie?
Yeah, look, Cash sort of ran at another dog. It was fine, but it did, as someone who's just a new dog owner, it can feel overwhelming when this wild animal is charging towards another animal and you're like, oh my God, are they going to just bite him? But it was
just
fine.
A bit overwhelming, and I think in any other time of the month I would have dealt with it better, and I was just like, I get catastrophic about it, where I'm like, oh, what have I done? I shouldn't have adopted him. It's like, no, don't think so black and white.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
In 2 weeks' time, I'll be running around the beach with him
exactly.
We're doing that after this because I've got to do it every day because he's a big boy.
He is a big boy.
But
yeah, well, thank you for being vulnerable, and I'm glad that you've now got you found your man. You finally found your man.
I found my
man. And he's a 4-legged canine.
And you know what? He loves to please me in emotional ways.
Yeah.
And, he's always there for me.
Yeah.
He protects the house. What
he
else?
does.
He gives great cuddles.
Yeah, he does.
Anyway, he gives everything that a man does and more.
It's kind of what you wanted your whole life, is comfort and connection, but not having the bullshit of a human. They are the best.
No, I shouldn't put that out into the universe. I do wish to fall in love at some stage in my life, maybe when I'm 50.
Yeah, but maybe now that you've got this in your life, I wonder if you'll become even more authentic to yourself, be more comfortable, and then you might actually radiate and magnetize people towards you that want you. What? He might change your life in a good way, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he will. He already has.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, pardon me. I just burped. That's so gross. I love him, but sometimes in these states, I'm like, oh my God, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
My autistic side is coming out more. It's like, oh my God, you smell, you're loud, you're intense.
Yeah.
That's why I woke up going, I think I'm a cat person. Anyway.
Yeah. But no, so we've got, new addition there. We've got Ruby here, and they've really helped us personally. I know not everyone can have a dog because it's very expensive and it's a privilege, but for us personally who have never had a dog and have been cat people our whole lives, personally, they've changed our lives. And I think also it's another good social talking point. So if you do go out to a cafe or you do go out and you bring your dog, I feel way more comfortable because it means that I've always got something I can put my energy into if it gets awkward, or I can talk about the dog. Go, yeah, she's cute. Hey, for me, it removes that pressure of small talk because there's this third thing in between us, which I can hang out with, even at family events. I can have my dog and go, oh, I'm just going to take Ruby out for a walk. It's a good excuse to leave an environment you don't want to be in, or be with a comfort. Honestly, it's my comfort. She's like my teddy bear that comes with me everywhere.
Yeah.
I love her.
Nah, hard. That's why I always said that like brunch dates with gal friends, I always hated those. Sitting across the table, staring at each other. It's like, what the frick?
Yeah. But if you had a dog there, it'd be more
dog, it's more broken up.
Exactly. And you can, if there's an awkward silence, you just go, how you going, Cashew? You going good?
I know, because if there's an awkward silence, usually I just freeze and then it's just awkward and then I just feel like a loser.
Totally. Okay, now I just wanted to jump into our Reddit first of all. I know we've already half done a lot of this episode, which has been really good organic chat. But I just wanted to also point out this post in our Reddit. You can come and join it. Click the link in our link tree and hit join and then we'll accept you, and then
Double
you've got
pronged.
to double prong, blah blah blah.
Two-pronged?
I saw when I was accepting people the other day, I saw someone just wrote double prong or something like that. I cracked up.
Oh, I love it.
But I thought this was a good one to read out this week when we're talking about friends and stuff. This person said coming out to friends / unmasking, and when they say coming out, they mean as AuDHD. Does anyone have any experience or recommendations when telling friends they have AuDHD? And I guess we can apply this to any neurodivergence. As I know from trying to learn about it myself, can be a massive learning experience for all involved. Just wondering if anyone has any past experiences to go off and what happened, either good or bad, and what to look for in terms of understanding. Just wanting and hoping to come at life a different way and to try and have the ability to unmask more and be myself. It sounds like others do it and either shake off what others think, or have a group of really good friends to help support them. So they're basically just asking, like, how is there a way to come out to people that you're neurodivergent? And this is a whole other element of friendship, is when you then find this out and you're like, oh, do I tell them this? Is this going to change our friendship? Are they going to judge me? Is it going to make my friendship better with them? It's a hard one. There were a couple of people who replied. The first comment was, I'm ADHD and newly autistic, slowly telling people. It was so much easier telling people I'm ADHD. They just seem to accept it more easily. I couldn't agree more. I'm the exact same. For autism, it's different. I just explain the facts and how it relates to me. So that's cool. But then you also feel like you're just standing there like explaining your fucking life away.
Proving your diagnosis.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, eh? My big thing right now is that I had my first big autistic shutdown, which had me in bed for days. I just told people I was sick, as I really didn't know how to describe it. And it was straight after my autism assessment. So it sucks, that we have to like hide that. Like we feel like it's easier to say I'm sick than just I need to recharge my batteries. That's kind of what it is. But I feel the same in terms of what that person said. ADHD, very accepted, very easy, very kind of, oh, funny. Oh, isn't everyone ADHD? Like I might get that comment, but whatever. I just kind of dismiss that one these days as they don't get it. But the autism one is different. I think people have very strong preconceived ideas of what autism is. I still do actually internalize bias in terms of what an autistic person looks like, which is why I think I question my own diagnosis often. But it is really hard, and you kind of do have to pick your battles in a way because people have these preconceived ideas of stereotypes that they've learnt about, and you do have to accept that you might get judged in that moment, unfortunately. And it's whether you can be bothered having to explain that to them, or whether it's better to keep your peace and not have to explain it to them.
Is it like explaining, or is it like just shifting it back on them, like you said, going, oh, what do you know about autism? Oh, so have you done, like, not done your research, that sounds passive aggressive, but like,
no, but yeah, do you know someone who's autistic?
So what do you know about it?
Yeah, have you done some research? Yeah, like I kind of wanted to try that when people make a dismissive comment, because you're only being curious. Actually, you're curious. You're actually going, oh, where did you learn about it? Like, do you know someone?
Yeah.
And then that might even stump them for them to realize, oh wait, I actually don't know much about this. Why am I making a snap judgment on them? But it just depends if you want to get into that conversation, because it's hard. One other person said, I have 2 young kids and therefore don't get to catch up with my friends that often. So when I do, there's always the typical, what have you been up to conversation. As the process of titrating meds and learning about ADHD was quite consuming, I felt like it was all I had going on, and so shared my diagnosis. So they obviously were like, well, it's all I've been doing, so I better share it. All my friends responded in disbelief, and then found myself trying to explain ADHD and justify my diagnosis. As I was still early in my learning and flustered by their reactions, I found this really hard to do effectively. This is what happens to me.
This is what happens to me too, because I freeze. Yeah.
I freeze, and which is ironic because that's a very neurodivergent thing to happen. Now I wait and I see in friendships if there's already an understanding of neurodivergence. So they might wait and see, do they know what this is? Oh yeah, they do know what neurodivergence is. Before they might open up about their diagnosis. The conversation then flows so much better, and I feel more seen rather than defensive. So that person's saying, give it time. Just get to know that person. Make sure that they have a base understanding of neurodivergence. One other person said, I'm only diagnosed AuDHD in July, so this is still quite new to me. I think it's about knowing your safe people, which is hopefully all your friends. I always make a point of saying I feel safe sharing it to them, and it's important to me that I share it with the friends I have shared my diagnosis with. I think it helps convey how much I care about our friendship, and also that this is a big deal to share, particularly if I've known them for a long time, and I basically just wish this person luck. Someone else said, I'm late diagnosed with AuDHD, only found out a few months ago. My experiences so far have been quite different depending on the person. No really awful experiences though. In general, I'd say half the people I've told were super accepting and supportive and assured me they still love me. The other half basically just seemed uncomfortable, didn't know what to say and changed the subject. Oh, well, we'll take that one.
That's better than, you don't like banging.
Yeah. And then I found it very, this is another person, I found it to be very difficult. My advice is to be very choosy with who you share this with. Find the right people, fellow spicy brains to unmask around first. I was wrong to expect everyone to be understanding and had some horrible reactions and comments. I hope you have a better experience. So it's kind of, most of those comments are saying pick and choose and see whether they're worth telling. It really is a personal choice. Like if you think it's going to make a difference to the way they perceive you in a good way, like, hey, you know how I always have to like be in my bed for a week after we hang out? Yeah, that's why. This is why. Then maybe that's helpful. But it is a really awkward thing. It's like, do you just sit down and go, hey guys, I've got some news. It really depends how equipped you feel to talk about it. Cause
I find sometimes because I get anxious, I like overshare and then I afterwards like ruminate and I'm like, wish I hadn't told them that.
Yeah, me too.
But even just like an example, when I was in Paris, like we were going out for dinner and I didn't feel good and I should have listened to that instinct, but I still got ready, tried to go out. We went out. Well, I needed to eat regardless, so I went. And then they were going to go out for drinks after and I was like, okay, I'll try. And this was when I was with Brooke, my best friend, and Owen, my friend. And now that they obviously know me really well and know that that's me and I've opened up to them about it a lot, I was like, I think I'm going to go home. And they were like super understanding, of course. And so I just went home and got a pain au chocolat and just chilled and had some downtime before they came back because regardless of them being my best friends, I still need time alone.
Nice. That's awesome that you accommodated yourself and they understood that. Because otherwise you would have gone home with them completely overstimulated, completely overwhelmed, and that probably would have ruined the rest of your like week.
Yeah,
Who
and
knows?
Brooke came back and told me because they were with another friend, and she told me like, Mick, the girl was like, I could tell she was a bit down, and she said, no, I don't. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, right.
No, yeah, and I was very quiet and like just very like kind of dissociated a bit. And then she goes, I really admire that she can just do what's best for her and leave the situation and not feel like,
That's
and
nice.
then Brooke came back and told me back that. And I was like, oh, that's lovely. So like.
That's a good person.
Yeah, good people will understand. And do what you
awesome.
don't gaslight yourself into going like, no, stay out. Like you should be enjoying this. You're in Paris, like we were talking about last week. And I do kind of get a bit like that sometimes. I was like, no, you know what? I'm just gonna end up so overwhelmed and stressed for no reason. Let's just go home and then start fresh tomorrow.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, yeah.
I actually did that earlier this year. We all went out for Sam's birthday and then we went to a gig. And I was just already, but by the time we got to the gig, I was already like really overwhelmed. And I didn't really want to be there, but it was Sam's birthday. So I was like, I'll stay a bit longer,
Oh, this, yeah.
My partner,
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where I was like, nah, I actually think I'm going to just go home. I think I'm just going to say to Sam that I just want to go home. I've had a good time with him. And so I went up and I was like, hey, Sammy, do you mind if I just head home? I'm just going to go. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And so that was the first like, oh, okay, Sam's cool with it.
Yeah.
Not that he wouldn't have been, but I just, you get scared to
especially when it's their birthday. You're like, far are they going to like,
And I was like, I hope it's okay. But he was so understanding. And then we had people staying at our house too over that weekend, which was the other reason I was getting really overwhelmed and just there was so much going on.
You wanted a few hours to just,
So I Ubered home on my own, which I've never done before. I've never left a group like that before. I've always stayed the whole time and just suffered my way through it. I got home. The house was quiet.
Oh.
The cats were there. I didn't have Ruby yet. And I literally had like an hour and a half to 2 hours of downtime where I could shower.
Yeah.
I could lie on my bed. I could watch TV. I patted my cats. And by the time they all got home, I was then still actually quite energized and quite happy to be there.
Yeah.
Because I'd had that moment of just peace. And that really taught me a lesson of like, just leave.
Yeah, hard.
Just leave. It's all good.
Hard. I also, that's a good lesson in terms of like as well. I need like buffer times in between stuff.
Yeah.
Being back to back to back with shit, I just can't handle it. Was this last year on the boat?
Yeah, it was this year, early this year, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I left early as well. You guys were all going off to that gig, and I also was like, I'm going to get an Uber. And it was also the best feeling in the world because I didn't really drink alcohol either.
No.
So when everyone else is getting effed up, which is fine, I can't help but sit on my high horse and be like, in my jammies, having a shower with my kids. I'm going to wake up tomorrow feeling super fresh.
Exactly. Yeah, not going to lie. When you left, I was like, I could have gone as well. But I thought, no, I better make it to the gig at least.
And then we paid for 2 Ubers.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
Dumb. No, that was a really good lesson of like, because I also get this like weird feeling of like, oh, but FOMO, I'm going to miss out, blah, blah, blah. And then I came home and I was like, oh, what am I missing out on? Like, they're all drunk anyway. They're not going to remember it. And then they came home anyway and told me some funny stories that I'd missed out on. But I actually didn't care. I was kind of like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Like,
I can tell you the stories and it's like you were there anyway, so it's fine.
Exactly. So yeah, good lesson to just, accommodate yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but I've really started doing little things like that, and it doesn't sound that big, but it really did help me.
Yeah.
I think I've definitely, since before diagnosis, I've discussed this before, I was very much like a people person and had lots of friends. It was like we've talked about how we were the opposite.
Were you a people person?
This is the thing. It looked like I was a people person and I didn't look lonely. Like you saying as a teenager you felt lonely. I didn't have that same longing of like feeling lonely like you did, but I actually was quite inherently lonely because I was close with these people but not really. Like I was close to them, but I don't think they were actually close to me because I didn't let them in. Didn't really.
It's like you're
tell
in
them
this
much.
this orb. Is it Zorb or orb?
Orb, yeah.
Like this clear orb
where
like people can't get close to you.
Exactly. So I definitely was lonely, but in a very different way. And I also tricked myself into not being lonely because I was constantly around people that were draining me and stuff like that. But then since my diagnosis, I really have dropped a lot of I was putting a lot of effort into friendships at times, but it almost now in hindsight, I think I was putting actually too much in and overcompensating out of an insecurity that I wasn't a good friend or that I felt like I needed to. And now that I've been diagnosed, I actually have way less close friends, but my core ones are still here. And even though I don't even talk to some of my closest friends very often, I know that they're a call away. They know I'm a call away.
Yeah.
And I feel so much more at peace. And I will say in the last 6 months probably, this is the first time in my life I don't think I've had seasonal depression. Usually I get seasonal winter depression. I don't think I got it this year. And I think it's all been because I've been protecting my space. I've been protecting myself in terms of really focusing on exercising. And I know everyone hates to hear that, exercise, but it has worked for me personally.
Unfortunately, it does work.
You just have to find your exercise, right? Like mine now, I'd never thought this would be my one, but my favorite thing to do is actually just go on an indoor cycle at the gym for 30 to 40 minutes.
Is that your favorite thing at the moment?
Yeah, it is. I've ended up being a bit of a cycler.
Oh my God.
I love it because it's low impact. I get to sit on my ass, but I'm still moving. You know?
And you watch Netflix and shit.
Yeah. So it's just watching TV, sitting on my ass and moving my legs around every few seconds, you know? So that's my favorite thing. And I never would have thought that. I had to discover that as I went around the gym.
So funny.
I know. Other people might like just dancing, putting music on for 30 minutes and just dancing.
That's a good thing. Like I feel like, sorry, buddy.
Stevie Cash.
I keep twitching and I think he's getting fed up. You're my support animal. You have to accept me. But I think there's this misconception that when you work out, it has to be HIIT training and it has to be this and also being at AuDHD, it's all or nothing for us. So we're got to, but Abby Chatfield, her series is a great thing to point on where it's she's not focusing on exercising for anything other than just her mental health. And on the days where she literally feels like doing nothing, she puts no pressure on herself. She goes, I'm just going to drive to the gym. And she forgets about anything else. So the first thing is I'm just going to put my shoes on and then I'm going to get in my car and then I'm going to go to the gym. And you actually she finds, and I agree with this, that
once she's there,
you end up going, actually, I'm feeling a bit better now. I'm going to keep going. It's when we have this big mountain of shit in our head of oh my God, I just can't do that today. But don't put the pressure on yourself to do it today. No. Just drive to the gym. Yeah, just drive to the gym. And maybe go, I'm going to drive to the gym, go to the dairy next door and get a little treat.
Yeah, get a little bit of energy drink or something.
Yeah, no.
No.
Oh. Nah, just jokes. I just had one. But habit stack it with something fun and then just go in and and then you actually find that you'll probably, do a bit more.
Yeah. I used to hate gyms because I don't like being around other people. And so gyms aren't for everyone because it is quite overwhelming being around other energies. But you might find that walking's your thing or maybe get an e-bike because even that's not too hard. You just cycle around for 20 minutes a day. again, it's expensive and stuff, but
yeah, like the dancing thing's a good example.
Right.
Like people don't think about, I think dancers will probably laugh at this statement because like it clearly is a lot of exercise. It's very hard dancing.
Oh, yeah.
But I think like some people that don't dance probably look at it and go, that's not exercising, you know? It is.
You just need to elevate your heart rate slightly.
Yeah.
That's all. And it really helps with your blood flow and your brain feeling good. And I will say in the last 6 weeks, I've really focused on exercising. And in my luteal phase, I won't go and do weight bearing stuff. I'll maybe do reformer Pilates, or I'll do yoga, or I'll just walk 3 times that day with the dog. And I will say, I'm not going to lie, the last luteal phase I just had, it was quite good.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my gosh, is this because I've this for the last 4 weeks been consistently exercising no matter what it is? It could just be 3 little walks a day.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that my more consistent exercising has helped my PMDD.
Yeah.
Hate to say it, guys. Sorry about
I hate to say it too, but not hard out. But this is the thing is like, it's a good point. I don't think, I've said this before on the podcast, but like, let's not listen to those bloody fitness gurus that are, particularly men, by the way. We are so different as women. We're like, we need variety because our cycle is so up and down. And so, yeah, if you really feel like you can't do a HIIT session today because you're feeling down, like, don't.
Yeah.
And just go for a little 5-minute walk. And you'll probably find when you hit 5 minutes, you're like, oh, I'm actually kind of enjoying this.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
When I go to the gym, I like think I have to do everything. I'm paying my bloody membership. I've got to use every bloody piece of equipment, otherwise it's not worth it. And then the other day I was in my bad bit and I was like, Ellie, all you need to do is just do a 30-minute cycle, not even hard out, just 30 minutes of your heart rate slightly elevated. So I did that in my luteal phase and it was delightful and I felt a lot better. My anxiety actually felt a lot better just from moving my body. So I don't know how I got onto this, but I was kind of saying that in the last 6 months I've
protected
my peace, and I've definitely hung out with my friends less, which is not necessarily a good thing, but the ones who are real, they're always there. And I still message them sometimes and like I've just been keeping to myself more and I've actually honestly been the happiest ever. Yeah. And I think people have drained me more in my life than I've realised.
Yeah.
And I still love all my people. I love them heaps. And I always used to think that time spent equals friendship.
Yeah.
Do you know, that was my brain. Time spent equals friendship. Now I've got older, I'm like, it's actually not true.
No.
It's connection and understanding of one another. And my bestest friends are so understanding of my neurodivergence. And I'm just feeling a lot happier. So what we're kind of saying here is that like friendship is different for everyone. Your friend can be someone who you just play a game with online. It doesn't have to be time spent. It doesn't have to be sitting there having a coffee. And I'm actually a lot happier having less connection in my life. Like good, strong ones and not a whole lot of acquaintances that I feel like I have to please and putting myself first. Is there anything else about friendship that you had written down or you wanted to talk about?
Just wanted to quickly touch on flatmates.
Oh my goodness, I was going to talk about this too.
Yeah, and how like it's interesting because like I feel a bit bad and I have a bit of guilt because there's been some flatmates where like I get along with them really well and I spend a lot of time with them because we live together. It's like proximity, right? And then I think like some people would think like that equals like, okay, we'll catch up, you know?
Yeah.
And then I move out and then I like never see them again.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, I don't want that to be a reflection of like them thinking that I don't love them. But like I feel guilty because like the time spent was because it was easy and there was no barriers between me and hanging out with them.
Yeah. So many friends in my past have been due to proximity and I'll have a season with them when I'm in the same class as them or same sports team or flatting, and I get really, really close with them because it's just it's easy. They're right there and we end up cooking in the kitchen together and you just get to know them on a different level. But then it doesn't necessarily mean that we end up keeping in touch later.
Yeah.
And also flatting, as a neurodivergent person, I found flatting personally to be so stressful. I was very, very unhappy, to be honest, the 10 years I flatted. And I only really in hindsight now see how unhappy I was.
Yeah.
Now that I'm more content in my home with Sam. But I don't think that in hindsight, if I had it my way, I think I would have preferred to have lived on my own earlier. Yeah. But when you're younger, you know you need to save money and everyone's like, no, you just got to do your flatting thing. But I actually don't think flatting's for everyone. If you really don't think it's for you and you can afford to not flat, I mean, do what you need to do because I actually realized that so much of my inner stress was just living with people. It was not knowing who was in the kitchen when, not knowing when I could use the washing machine, not knowing what mood they were in, what mood I was in.
Fear of being perceived.
Fear of being
constantly.
perceived. Exactly. Like, I just hated being around people. And so a lot of the time I just hide in my room.
Yeah,
and
same.
even in lockdown, I put a whole air fryer in my bedroom so I didn't have to go up to the kitchen.
And a fridge. You had a fridge and an air fryer. That is so funny. No,
And-
hard out. The hypervigilance. Like, I always feel like I'm being judged, which I'm probably not. But it's
No.
like the fear of being perceived and like the hypervigilance. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's
Yeah,
just,
let
I
us-
always feel really weird.
Same. Let us know in our Reddit. I'd be keen to hear stories from people. What experiences you had being roommates with people.
Like, oh, sorry. I just like existing in the kitchen with your flatmate without saying a word to me
It's so weird.
is so weird and hard. So I'm probably that flatmate that doesn't shut the F up because like I'm trying to fill the silences, which is probably really frustrating to deal with.
Yeah, they probably don't even want it.
They probably don't want it, but then I don't like just doing our thing and not saying like
I
I'm
know.
like the silence like actually like
It's painful.
like freaks me out. I'm like oh.
Yeah,
So yeah, anyway, I love that I live on my own with my animals and
Yeah.
that's that.
totally. Yeah, I think don't be hard on yourself. If you're not enjoying flatting and you're finding it secretly very stressful, it's okay. It is really stressful living with other people.
Yeah.
And in this day and age with the cost of living, a lot of us don't have a choice but to do that. Just look after yourself. And I mean, do you share it with your flatmates, your diagnosis, if they don't know? Potentially. Again, it comes back to how much you trust them. And again, it will just come, it's down to the case by case, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found feeling really stressful, especially even like food going missing and the injustice that comes with that, or people using my shit and not washing it. And I'm like, that's my shit. Why are you not washing it? Like, there's so many injustices and flatting.
God.
Like me putting the rubbish out every week and no one else doing it. Like just, oh my goodness. All those little things really irked me.
Yeah.
But I also had really fun times flatting, of course. But it was a lot of stress I didn't realize I was going through.
Yeah.
all the time.
Until it wasn't there and you were like,
Yeah. Oh, why am I happy?
you know
oh,
that meme?
Oh.
It's like a video. Anyway, I don't know.
oh, see, I don't know.
Oh.
No, we'll probably wrap up shortly, but another thing that maybe we'll do an episode on this. We probably should do an episode on this, but coming up into holiday season, we will probably do an episode about holiday season as a neurodivergent person, because even though holiday season is a lovely time and it's beautiful
Is
and
it?
well, it's meant to be, exactly. Like we're told it's meant to be, and it's about connecting with family and friends and celebrating and blah blah blah. But that's not always the case for neurodivergent people.
Yeah.
They're actually often holiday season can be really tough, especially if you've got strained relationships with your family.
Mm-hmm.
And we do want to acknowledge that we're here for you, and we understand if holiday season coming up is actually stressing you out a bit,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of factors going on here, which even just going to people's houses and not having your safe foods. Like, what are they feeding us for Christmas lunch or whatever?
True.
There's so many little things. Sensory overload, cousins running around screaming. Like, this sounds like I'm ungrateful, but it's true. Like, you're
No.
allowed to feel this way about holiday season whilst also having a good time, like in some ways. But it is actually quite a stressful time for people, and we do want to acknowledge that.
You know, like this sounds negative. This is like kind of the point goes back to the point that I said last week is like you could be anywhere in the Mediterranean Sea. The thing is like neurotypical people don't get it. They'll be in a situation that's like pleasant and like, oh, holidays. And they're like, oh, why aren't you enjoying this? It's Christmas. You meant to be, blah, blah. I hate that, because if you're having battles in your brain, like it doesn't matter where you are and what you're doing and what holiday season it is or whether it's freaking.
That's the thing. Your needs don't go away just because Santa's coming.
Exactly.
You know?
And
Yeah.
I used to gaslight myself, going like, "Why aren't I enjoying this? It is Christmas. Why don't I want to go do that?" And now I've just realized it's like, okay, it's just because I'm wired differently. Okay.
Yeah. Even I get anxiety about coming to a family event and having to hug everyone,
I hate it.
like that kind of thing. And I love my family. This
I
is the
love
other
them,
thing.
but I hate it.
Yeah, you have this guilt of like, oh, do I not love my family because I don't really want to hug them? But it's even that. It's all the touching. It's the opening a present in front of everyone and having to react.
Oh my God.
There's so many things.
I hate opening my presents in front of people.
I know. Yeah, look, there's so many things. So I reckon we'll do an episode on this closer to Christmas, and maybe give you some advice and
Do
stuff.
we have any advice?
Well, we'll see what we come up with.
We'll brainstorm that.
Yeah, we might even ask you in the Reddit, like if you've got any advice for holiday season that we could share with the people listening. Because yeah, it's coming into an interesting old season.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this. Hopefully you got a little bit out of it. This was more about us just opening up again about feeling friendships and loneliness and all that kind of
Maybe
thing.
you related. I don't know.
Yeah. But we have also a favour to ask. If you want to. But we have entered the New Zealand Podcast Awards this year, and there is a category called Listener's Choice, and that's entirely done on voting. So if you do enjoy our podcast and you'd like to vote for us for Listener's Choice, we've put the link in the description of this episode. Your vote would be really, really appreciated.
But no pressure.
Yeah, only if you genuinely want to vote for this podcast. But we really would appreciate having your votes if you want to vote for us, because Listener's Choice is like a good one to get, you know.
Is it?
It's a good one because it shows that your audience loves you. So if you do, the link's in the bio, in the description. We would be forever grateful if you wanted to do that. But yeah, other than that, we will catch you next week for another episode. Take care of yourselves and
thank you very much.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.